Ciao jewelry makers, my name is Joey Balistreri. Welcome to my channel. I'm really excited to share what I have today because I have just returned from a little trip to Venice Beach in Florida, and I went to a wonderful bead shop there, which I intended to go in for a few minutes and just take a video for you guys, but 2 hours later I was still there and I have a bit of a haul to share with you, and I have a surprise to also share with you that happened on my weekend. That I've lived in Florida since 1969 and I have never seen this, so I'll put some video up at the end and tell you what happened. I am in Sarasota, Florida, and I found this gorgeous bead shop. I have been here before. This one is called BEAD Abode, and I cannot wait to see what they have. They do classes here, and they have a lot of beautiful beaded sample things inside. So let's go inside and see what we find. Let me show you my treasures from this shop called BEAD Abode. It's in Sarasota, Florida. There is the website. It is a wonderful bead shop. Now, I have been there before, but the last time I was there, I was working on different projects, and this time I have some other things in my mind. So I picked up a couple of these little spool. I have a big bag beside me, but these are bobbins that hold your thread if you are doing some kind of weaving, and I actually just picked up a couple of these for my stash. I'm going to take these stickers off. So they have tools and supplies, and the prices are really great. I also just picked up a little spool of the Opalon stretch fiber cord because it was $2. So it's not the type that I normally use. So I just wanted to, supplement my supplies. And then I found some French wire for $1. And this is a tiny little coil for finishing off the ends of bracelets and necklaces so that you don't have raw stringing wire. But this was a really, really small diameter, and it was only $1. Like, the prices are so great. And then this was a little bit larger circumference of that wire, and you only use like a tiny little snippet of it to finish off a piece. So even though this doesn't look like a lot of material, it actually is. There's quite a few projects there. And I'm just going to, I'll show you my bag. This bag is like full, and it's quite heavy. Like sometimes when you leave a bead shop, you have spent a lot of money and you have just a tiny little bag, but mine's pretty full. So I went to the seed bead aisle and the kind of bead weaving supplies, and found all kinds of gorgeous things. And I literally just went through and chose some colors and some sizes and things that I liked just to have in my supplies, because I do a little bit of bead weaving, but I love these type of things for like 2-strand bracelets, and these hex seed beads are fabulous for spacers. And you know, if you're not a bead weaver, sometimes I think we overlook supplies like this. Like, even if you might have heard me say this, if you've been on my channel, the power of seed beads. They are inexpensive spacers. They can extend length. If you have a 12 or 15-inch strand of gemstones and you want to make a full necklace, these can extend that length, and they're just invaluable even if you're not a bead weaver. And I think sometimes, you know, we overlook the power of these small beads in our designs. So these are really cool. These are called O's. They are blue azzurro, and these are check O beads. And look at these guys. I'm not going to open all of these because I just bought these for my stash, but these have that mermaid look to them. And I'm just going to pull out at random what I have in here. So they have a little tray in the back where all these check glass bellflowers were $1 per bag. So I picked out the colors that I really loved. They are just beautiful. And again, if you've been on my channel at all, you know that I use a lot of these bellflowers and I just love them. I got every bag of pink ones that were available. I just love the way this shop has kind of organized to get a little sampling of a lot of different beads for the price. But I did love some of the finishes, and they always have a clearance section at Bead Abode, and this time it was filled with bugle beads and some check glass beads. But look how beautiful these little bellflowers are. I absolutely just love them, and I love that color. They have a metal wall in the shop, and they have these beautiful little cone bead caps with the scrolls on the edges of them. And so I took 2 bags of those. Open those up. They are just beautiful. Look at that. They are so lovely and so useful. If you can make tassels out of these, but also if you are doing a multi-strand bracelet or necklace where all of your wires need to feed into something a little bit larger, that is perfect for that. Another little section of the shop where they had separated metals, and I think all of the metals were $4.99 a bag, and there was just all different kind of findings and components, and some of them were so unusual. So look how cool these are. They are kind of like a spacer bar. They could be a bracelet bar, and they have 2 sections for stringing material. And I have nothing like this in my stash. And if you've been around my channel, you know that I love to experiment with bars in my jewelry making, going horizontally, going vertically, stacking the bars. I just thought these were absolutely gorgeous, and the ideas just from looking at them just were endless for me. So I picked those up, and then they had some of my spacer bars or connector bars that I just work with these so much. So I picked up these, and I think these were $1.79 for the whole bag. They're quite small, but look at the embossing. And then these are 5-hole spacer bars. So they are just lovely. And sometimes when I don't want the silver, or if I want to add a little color, I use the fine tip of my acrylic markers and kind of change up the color of the silver, and you know, even make it look a little bit like enamel or cloisonne. So I just love love, love, love those. And I got some little, they're kind of like daisy spacer connector bars, and those were only 75 cents a bag. And like I said, if you've been around my channel at all, you see that I work with these a lot. And so this time, as I said, on the clearance aisle were a lot of bugle beads and seed beads, and I have nothing like this in my stash. These are twisted bugle beads with an AB finish. I hope the camera is showing you. Let me see if I can get really close. Are those not stunning? Again, the possibilities with this bead for spacing out other beads, or honestly even a very fine beaded chain. The ideas for this and what stunning earrings these would make. I just love them. I don't know, I hope you can see how it is a small bugle bead and it's twisted and it has the AB finish, and it's in that beautiful sort of neutral gold that just goes with every color. I just fell in love with those, and I didn't have anything like that in my stash. So of course I got some of those, and then they had a section of Swarovski crystals, these chaton like center pieces that need to be bezeled, and I just picked out one because they had a sign that said these were discontinued, and when they were sold out, they were gone. So I just love, again, I don't know if you can see all the sparkle, and I just thought how neutral this would be. And my plan is to make rings, one for me and one for my sister. So I got those, and they were $5 for the pair of those, and they just intrigued both of us. My sister was with me in the shop, and they had a small area of check glass buttons, and so I splurged on this dragonfly check glass button. Look at him. Look at the colors in this button. I love these for bracelet closures, and I even have a video where I show how to turn a shank button into a connector. It's a really easy technique that you do with wire, and I can link that below. But I also like to make these as the closure and then do a loop of either seed beads or some kind of stringing material. Even a leather loop, if I'm doing that type of a bracelet, works really well for these. But he is just gorgeous, so I treated myself to a button. I just love him. And let's see what else I have in here. Oh, I always try to add leaf beads to my stash. In my organization of my beads, I have an entire bin that is just leaves, because when I'm working with flowers, I oftentimes like to add in a little neutral green, just a little, just a little something to sort of make the flower pop. And that's one of the reasons I also picked up so many of the flower beads that were on their sale, because for 2024, flowers are a big fashion trend in jewelry, but not a flower explosion or like floral patterns, but like making a statement with a single flower or a small little group of flowers for a ring or a brooch. And I have some designs planned with that, so I just loved their little selection of check glass beads that were leaves, and so I added some of those to my supplies. And let's see what else is in here. I just love these hearts. Look at these giant ceramic heart beads. This was $8 for this whole strand, and I just love them. They have a beautiful hole. You could really get leather in there, or waxed linen cord, or even nylon cord. You could make beaded chain out of this, or I think I will be using it as a focal. I'm planning some bracelets, and anyway, I wish you could feel these too, because they're just wonderful. It's got some weight to it, and I just love these lavender hearts. These are galvanized starlight hex beads, and these are 8/0, so it's like an 8/0 seed bead, but it's a little bit bigger than an 8/0 because of the hex design. And so I just picked out the gold and the purple in that, just to have in my stash, because as I said, they're beautiful if you have certain bead weaving patterns, but these are fabulous, fabulous spacer beads. The 15-0 seed beads are not easy to come by in craft stores. Pretty much, I am always ordering them online, and it's so nice to go in a bead shop and look at the colors in person and, you know, choose what you think you would use the most of. Here's another color of those bell flowers. And also in my bead organizing, I have a bin that is just flower beads, and because I love to work with them. And so this was another color that was in that little clearance area with the flowers, and I just think these are beautiful. They are so elegant and, you know, neutral and just beautiful. And then let's see. Oh, I picked up these beautiful carrier beads, a whole strand of carrier beads for $4. And this is the purple Vega luster check glass carrier bead with the 2 holes. These are just fabulous in design. These are awesome to make pendants out of, and because they have the 2 holes, but they are spaced so nicely, the holes are spaced nicely apart, these are fabulous if you want to do a 2-strand bracelet or necklace to keep your strands separate and then do some kind of designs in between the carrier beads. I just love these. So I have a little stash of these, and this color I didn't have, and I just thought it was beautiful. You know, I always hope the camera is picking up what I am seeing, the luster and the beautiful finish on these beads. I hope that it is, because they are delicious. Oh, and look how gorgeous they look with my hearts. Okay, let me say, so they have a wall at this shop where you can pick out any strand for $5, or you can get 5 strands for $20. It's a really good deal. So I chose 5 really random strands, but just things that were different than anything I have in my stash. And so this was one of them. These are really large whole ceramic beads, and each one is a little bit unique, and no 2 on this strand are alike. And like I said, I have bracelet designs in my head, and I was even thinking about, you know, one of these and one of these, and then adding in some check glass flowers for a really beautiful chunky bracelet. So kind of had that in my mind. And then they had a few colors of these bell flowers, so I picked out this pretty kind of muted purple color, kind of neutral purple, and I had never seen anything like these, and I wish they had more colors of these. But this is a cube that has a little silver wash, and it has an X on every side of the cube. I just think these are so unique, and look at the large strand. I mean, that is one of the things that I love about going to a bead shop in person, is sometimes you just see things that you don't have or you've never seen, and it sparks creativity. You know, like new beads and new supplies really help us with new ideas and new designs, and so it's just really, really fun. And then I chose a couple of just lovely round beads. This one is quite unusual. It looks really dark, and then when you get it in the sun, you can actually see right through it. It's almost like a frosted mermaid glass. It has a flash in it. It looks really dark in my camera, but in the shop, this was just stunning. And how beautiful this color is for any kind of denim or chambray, or even to go with linen in the summer. And then look at the colors on this little strand of beads. Just some lovely things for my stash. So that's what was in my bag. And then the last thing, it's in a separate little bag. The last thing that I got, and this is a new bead to me. It may not be new to you if you are a bead weaver, but these are beads from the Parpuka line of beads. And this is a line of beads by a French jewelry artist called Annick Puka. And a lot of companies, Potomac Beads has some of these, and I think Beadaholic. I've seen them online, and they have been around. They're not new. They're just kind of new to me. because I haven't done bead weaving, like big projects, for many years. I'm getting back into it with beaded beads and some smaller things like my little beaded people that I did. But these beads are absolutely stunning. I'll pop some pictures up of some of the bracelet samples that were done in the shop. And my sister and I just fell in love with those bracelets, and we got enough beads to make a pair, one for her and one for me, a pair of bracelets. The lady that was working at Bead Abode this day was telling us that you will still see some of these Parapuca beads in some of the bead shops, but the company has recently changed their laws for distributorship, so you won't be able to buy them as readily in bead shops, but there is still some inventory left. So I purchased a few of them. Like this one is unique to the Parapuca line. It looks like a dot in a design, and they're only one whole bead. It is absolutely stunning. And so they have some unusual geometric shapes that this French jewelry designer has come up with, and we just fell in love with the shapes, the finishes, all of it. So I did a small little selection, and the pattern that I would like to do had some 3mm fire polish beads mixed in with the pattern. So this was my little collection for those bracelets, and when I get them done, I'll try to share them with you, either post a picture in the community tab or something like that. But I wish you guys had been there with me and my sister, because what we saw was just absolutely stunning. But anyway, I also, in my trip, was riding my bicycle with my sister, just riding around and riding over toward the beach, and we noticed crowds of people on foot, on bicycles, in golf carts, cars, just charging toward the beach. Helicopters were above, and as it turned out, a 70-foot whale had beached itself. To show you in the video what I was seeing, but they were trying to determine what to do with the whale. My sister-in-law and I were watching, and it looked like they might try to drag it back out to sea, but there were marine biologists there, and it was just a lot of excitement. I've lived in Florida almost my whole life, and I've never seen anything like it. And then we got some rather sad news. I was following up. I stopped to speak to a police officer when I finished looking at the whale and filming and crying. I had a little cry on the beach because he was so amazing. But I stopped to talk to a police officer who was controlling the traffic, and he said the whale was alive, but he had beached himself to die. Apparently they do that. So the marine biologists and the people that were there to decide how to rescue or what to do had decided to euthanize him because he had beached himself to die. So whether he was old or sick, they didn't know. They didn't say. But it was quite an experience and just so amazing. And so I just thought I would share it with all of you, because it was just an amazing, being in the right place at the right time and out riding my bicycle. So anyway, I hope that if you have a destination to South Florida anytime, that you will put Bead Abode on your to-do list. It is a wonderful shop. They actually do classes. Time did not permit me to sign up for a class, but it is something that I intend to do. And it's just so nice to support local bead shops so that we have them. I mean, we all do our share of online shopping, but if we don't spend some of our budget for beading materials in local shops, in the bead shops, they won't be able to stay there. They won't stay in business for us to be able to go and hold things in our hands and look at things and feel things in person. And it's just really a good thing to do. So when I travel, I always Google for any bead shops in the area, and I try to do that. And now on my channel, I'm going to try to share that with all of you. So I thank you so much for watching today. I hope you enjoyed my little bead haul and my surprise on my trip this week. I mean, I got to see a whale, so it was amazing. So thanks a lot for watching, everybody. I hope you're all safe and well and having fun on your beading mats, and I will see you in the next video. Ciao, jewelry making friends. riding my bicycle over to the beach in Venice Beach, and there's a beach whale. So all of the residents are coming to see it. And the marine rescue trucks are here and the Venice police. It's so exciting. We're gonna try to make our way down to the beach and see if we can see the whale.